Inflation has affected everybody. You talk when you look out across these items that we say, these hardware items in particularly,
right.
The electrical and the plumbing, PVC, residential PVC has doubled in price. All electrical products have increased in price, and not just residential, but one of the big issues is if you've had a civil project, a municipal civil project,
right.
Where you're using a lot of PVC or for water systems. Even the industrial and the commercial PVC products have gone up 40 or 50%. So if you had a project
since when? Since this time
in the last year, 18 months.
Right.
So if you had an engineering project that you had designed a year or 2 years ago, the amount of lead time that it takes those things between the beginning of the design phase and the final, putting them in the ground phase is several years.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So I don't expect that we'll sell as much fertilizer as we did last year.
Of course not.
Of course not. I don't have a good.
And the thing
idea
is,
what's fixing to happen.
And it's going to get worse.
It's going to get
Inflation
worse.
is going to get worse. So if you're sitting at home worried about what inflation is doing to your costs, you need to expect that this is going to get worse. You also need to expect that there are solutions to this problem. Because in the 70s, we had bad inflation, right? And then how do we fix it? Paul Volcker and Ronald Reagan in the early 80s did exactly what needed to be done, which is they stopped printing money and they increased interest rates. The reason that this administration won't increase rates is because they know is going to throw the country into a recession.
Well, and another thing, I think the country owes so much money.
Yeah.
Our debt is so astronomical.
That's right.
Until if the Federal Reserve increased the interest rate, you have to remember that the interest rate also increases on the federal bonds.
That's right.
So the federal payment on interest gets so high that the only thing they can do is print more money to buy down their own bonds, and then here we go. Inflation goes all over again.
That's right. And that's what happens when you have career bureaucrats and career politicians running this whole deal.
Exactly. We've had so many career politicians and career bureaucrats, and they've spent money, and until you get your spending under control, then there's not going to be a good answer.
There's not. Well, RD, thank you for talking to us.
Well, I'm glad you stopped by.
Yes, sir. Thank you for showing us around your feed store. It's a Griffin feed store in St. Augustine, Texas. Y'all come on by. They got some great stuff for you.